Something inside me is telling me that I should watch this video. Okay. All right. 2 reasons. 1, people keep telling me that I don't understand the feminine perspective on the topic. And maybe, so okay. Maybe this will be an exercise in empathy. But I will say, it feels disproportionate to say that deepfakes are ruining my life. That feels a little disproportionate. That seems a little intense, okay? I understand people don't like it. I'm just, the disproportionality gets me. If we ban this stuff, that's fine. I don't care. It means nothing to me. But the ruining my life, that seems a little disproportionate. Let's see what we got, though.
My safety, my day-to-day life, my whole career has been completely turned upside down and probably irreparably changed.
Really? What? How?
By this. Someone put
how your safety?
My face onto and sold it. And if you don't understand just how...
Why does that hurt your safety? I understand that could be frustrating and uncomfortable, but how does that hurt your safety?
How convincing deepfakes are. Have a look at some of these videos.
I am not Morgan Freeman. And what you see is...
Yeah, that's not Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman has really nice shoulders. But yeah, no, they can be very convincing.
Not real.
The one good thing that celebrities have that we don't have is that you can say that's actually the deepfake and not me. I'm just saying, if somebody legitimately thought it was you, I get it. Nobody really thinks that. And I know people will be like, yo, what about the outlier? What about... Nobody actually truly thinks it's them. Just saying. I'm sure she already has stalkers. Yeah, just being in the spotlight, it can make things dangerous, right? But like, the deepfakes have nothing to do with the stalkers. Thank you for getting me through work. I film and edit all day. I giggle when I forget to delete the sound, and my coworkers ask what's listening to. That's funny.
It was love at first sight.
It so was.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at
Some of these you can kind of tell are not real. It's a little bit tearing, but the technology's getting good.
any point in time.
This is the level to which deepfake has gotten in the past few years. So
Okay, yeah.
things...
Yeah, deepfakes are scary. The concept is a scary thing. But it's not ruining your life.
have changed, and so have the consequences. Obviously, when anything new comes out, the first thing it's used for is porn.
Based.
There is a whole
Women are on the front lines, baby.
website, multiple websites dedicated to creating, on commission, videos of a sexual nature of anyone you want. And I actually found out when Atriarch apologized for accessing one of those websites.
It feels so embarrassing to me.
You know, my big thing is, like, honestly, and again, if they ban this technology, I really don't care. But my thing is I think it makes it much worse when you, like, make a big profit off of it and you have, like, a whole website dedicated to collecting and distributing this stuff. You know, but, like, if you made it yourself, I don't think I'd care that much. You just keep it to yourself, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. You know, because then it's basically just a thought crime at that point. It doesn't really matter. Once you start distributing it, it becomes a whole different issue.
But I was on fucking Pornhub, dude. I was on a fucking regular-ass normal fucking...
To have deepfake, you need to have an extensive amount of footage about the person. It's rarely ever a problem for small people. No, I'm just gonna let you know you were objectively incorrect. All you need is a picture of somebody's face. I'm just letting you know that. You don't need, like, a deep archive of information to create a deepfake. I'm just letting you know that. In order to do an AI where they're creating it from scratch, like Athene does when he does, like, he has this, like, fun little thing. I'll show you really quick. You need an archive of footage, right? So, like, this is an archive of footage.
Nuts, man. This is the hard, cold truth of what they're doing to...
In order to make somebody's face and superimpose it onto somebody's body, you literally just need a picture of their face and then another video. I'm just letting you know that that's the reality. It's you just literally that's all you have to do. Just letting you know.
Website, and there was an ad. There's an ad on every fucking video for this fucking... So I know other people must be clicking it because it's on every fucking video for a fucking deepfake thing, and then I click it and I'm fucking in this fucking rabbit hole, and at 2 a.m. I don't know, I got morbidly curious and I click something, and
wow, the crying is bizarre to me,
and it's just fucking, it's gross. It's gross.
The crying is so disproportionate. I'm sorry, you know, it's like, oh my god.
I'm sorry, I really am. I really fucking am.
Pokimane was actually...
That is how it works. It is. You can just put somebody's face onto somebody else's body. Like, they have literal iPhone apps for this and shit. I'm just letting you know. Like, I'm not asking you a question here. So You could just superimpose somebody's face onto somebody else's body at this point.
One of the people who was included in the streamers who were deepfaked, there were people coming into a chat saying, look at this photo or that photo of you that you posted, trying to justify sexualizing her as if she brought it on herself.
For anybody who's all up in my comments like, oh, look at this photo you posted. Look at this photo you posted.
I don't know what they're talking
What
about.
about Maya? Literally makes the most wholesome content on Earth and still deals with the exact same issues as me. Also, people can post whatever they want, and that still means that you need their consent to do certain things, including sexualizing them and then profiting off of it. Are you?
The whole
Sure, I guess. Yeah, profiting definitely can't do
Twitch
that.
community, like everyone was
Sure.
in uproar. A lot of people were very upset. Kitty Cinderella
Do you consent to being deepfaked? Yeah, sure. I don't care. I mean, it's not me. I don't care. God. Shut up! You don't need multiple photos. You just need one picture. I'm just letting you know this. Like, I've seen it done before. Like, that's why one of the things that's so scary about it. Okay? I'm just letting you know. It's just, it's just the truth, brother.
actually released a very heartfelt and
Yeah, this was just fucking... I mean, frankly, I don't think I'm the only one that's saying that. You know, she kind of made this situation more about her, this girl, than anything else. Maybe that's what hurts the conversation. But
very
whatever.
emotional statement when she discovered she had been deepfake.
Fuck Atrioc for showing it to thousands of people. Fuck the people DMing me pictures of myself from that website. Fuck you all.
Your face. I'm just saying. It's not you. It's your face.
This is what it looks like. This is what the pain looks like.
And when you see things like that, it's very hard.
What do you mean? Why do I hate Pokimane so much? What did I say that makes you think I hate Pokimane? I mean, I don't particularly care for her, but why do you think I hate her?
Not to sympathize. And the whole situation led me to be
You're
a bit curious and be like, wait, am I on these websites? So I went and Googled it, and unfortunately, I had also been deepfaked by this person. And you're about to learn how this is going to fuck with my life forever. My first experience of this, my first knowledge of it existing, was as a weapon to humiliate and degrade women. It
What?
was Anita Sarkeesian, and she made a series called Feminist Frequency. And a popular streamer disliked her. So he basically immobilized his entire viewership against her. People started photoshopping her face onto pornography, and specifically sex acts that were considered degrading.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
There were images made,
Okay.
pornographic images made in my likeness being raped by video game characters and sent to me again and again. There was even a game made where players were invited to beat the bitch up, in which upon clicking on the screen, an image of me would become increasingly battered and bruised.
Wow, I cannot laugh at that. That's not funny at all. That's terrible. That's horrible. That's just so mean and horrible. I mean, that's an interesting point I guess I didn't think about. You know, if somebody took a picture of me, well, not because I don't care, but if somebody took a picture of me and they did like a harassment campaign to like, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. Like, you ever see Lemon Party before? Don't look it up. If somebody superimposed my face onto that body and then tried to go around and embarrass me, I'm gonna look at. I'm trying to think. Like, would that bother me on like a personal level? Wow. I don't know. I mean, I get that the harassment campaign thing can be upsetting. I'm just trying to think.
Believe me, people have been making porn of people non-consensually for hundreds of years.
True.
Back when we used to
Thought crimes, baby.
persecute witches in the
Dr.
medieval
Battery super chatted $3.36. When you count your stairs, do you count reaching the top or bottom as a step?
It's the first step. This is the first time you put your foot onto an actual step. You don't count the ground floor step because you step 1, 2, 3, 4.
times, we would draw them and make these paintings of them kissing the ass of the devil. And there were actual, really in-depth drawings of analingus between.
But here's my thing. If somebody did a drawing of somebody in a sexualized manner, that's where you lose me. Because, like, okay, that doesn't matter. Like, I doesn't... Again, it's not you or your body. And I feel like some of the same applies to a deepfake. It's your face, but it's not your body. If people actually thought it was you, yeah, that could be fucked up. Definitely. Well, that is fucked up. And if people profit off of it, that's fucked up. But just the creation of it, I just don't care about.
Between women and the devil to degrade and humiliate her and make her out to be a terrible person. And let's not forget that we would.
Yeah, but that the intention there is to humiliate that person, which I think is a factor as well.
Use this trope to justify burning these women alive. Like,
true. I never thought of that. I forgot we're trying to justify lighting Twitch streamers on fire.
It was a way to dehumanize them and make them seem beneath respect and equal treatment.
I get what they're saying. I don't think that's what deepfakes are about. I think that porn one is probably just so like gross guys can jerk off. Sorry, the friends of those girls can jerk off. That's fucking weird. Let me tell you.
So as far as I could tell, like all of my early examples of seeing this kind of content, this non-consensual.
Am I okay with lolicon? What is wrong with you, dude? No. How do you connect these two things together? Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. I gotta stop reading my chat. You guys are fucking unhinged. You guys are goblins. What are you talking about? How do you connect these two together?
Completely fabricated sexual content of people was to ridicule and humiliate them. And historically, that's how it's been used. But if you look at a whole bunch of these comments, you'll see that...
Oh, wait. I get it. I understand what you're doing now. Okay, hold on. I get your fucking insane logic. Your logic is that I said that drawing a picture of a girl... in a sexualized manner, that's not actually them, so it's not a big deal. And then you're saying, well, what about lolicon? Because that's depicting children. Okay, listen. Technically, a picture of a child in a pornographic sense isn't as bad as an actual child because there's a literal exploitation of a child on an actual picture. And on the lolicon, it's not a literal child. But check this out. You're a fucking pedophile if you jerk off to it. That's why it's a problem, okay? We don't need to see we don't need to justify or promote or push out thousands of pictures of fucking child pornography so that we can fucking brainwash people into jerking off to it, okay? Because that's why I like trans porn, because I just kept seeing it when I was growing up, and now I'm fucking pissing trans shit. The point I'm making is that there is some content that you should... I got a little too personal there. That's bad. It's bad. You shouldn't even see it. Okay, you guys hear about the FBI agent? I heard about this. That like it was his job to like track these people down and stuff, and he had to look at the content, and it fucked him up in the head. Listen, I'm just being real with you. That's different. It's a different thing. They have a lolicon convention in Japan. What, bro? I mean, listen. You know, a third. We need a third one. If that's a real thing, that's all I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, I look at trans porn. I don't care. I don't fetishize trans women either. Okay, I fetishize all women. I look at all. Okay. All right. When I'm visiting Thailand, I never will. I'm a devoted man of Christ to my wife. Okay. I keep my urges at bay. I'm a real man. I'm learning strength and withholding. Okay. I'm a morally virtuous warrior. And before you judge me, think about this. Who do you think is the better man? A man who has never been evil, or a man who has learned to overcome that evil? So that on a TikTok from a dragon from Skyrim, and it really spoke to me. So, you know, that's all I have to say.
So many people out there don't understand what the problem with this is. Is there really any difference between this and some random viewer sexualizing them in their mind? I hate to break it to you, but you don't own the visage of your face.
Well, that part, I agree that you own your face. Like, they shouldn't be able to profit off of it.
Log off. You're not a victim. What's the problem? Why do you care? This just comes with the job. Like,
it certainly comes.
This is normal. This is just a sexual fantasy. It's not that deep. Why do you care?
It's a sexual fantasy until everybody starts seeing it. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's when it becomes like mainstream.
And there's a distinct lack of empathy, and a lot of people who are genuinely confused as to what's the problem with it. And I'd say consent. Consent is the main problem. Like when someone doesn't choose to sexually engage with you, but you sexually engage with them anyway, that is a problem.
Yeah, but it's different. A picture, it's a little different. Like, okay, so let's go on the instant. If somebody drew Papa Gut like sucking off a penis, I didn't consent to that. That might upset me, but like I didn't like. I mean, maybe it could be considered violating. It's just obviously not at the proportionality of being raped, right? And I think that's one of the things that frustrates me is the constant bringing to that, because it feels a little belittling of people who've actually been, taken advantage of. So,
always a problem. Imagine that you have found a video of you on the internet where you were stamping on a kitten to death, and everyone thought you were a complete asshole, and people hated you, and your boss was—
Yes, but that's not happening here, right? We understand that. You're right. If the deepfake could be, it could potentially in the future be used to like actually do stuff like that and make you look really bad. That's a problem. Nobody thinks it's not you, like, or nobody thinks it's you. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be rude. That's what it comes down to. You could, like, I know we could say, well, some people may not. Most people know that it's not you. And you guys, like, you have massive platforms to be like, yo, we know it's not me. Nobody thinks it's actually you. And before I keep getting to people, it's like, yeah, but what if some people, just shut up. Stop using outliers as like the core argument. Okay, I'm just saying. So I'm just saying.
was considering firing you, and your family don't want anything to do with you, and your friends are starting to leave, and you don't know if your life's ever going to be the same again.
That would be horrible, but this is not comparable to the scenario.
And you don't feel safe.
Like, if this is a good argument to ban deepfakes, but it's not really applicable to your situation.
Down the street, because now loads of people hate you because of something you never did. That's how it feels to be suddenly put in sex work when you never consented.
But I think a big part of why it could be hard for men to understand this is because we may not respond the same way, or we believe.
Yeah, men don't tend to get sexualized in that way. And when men do get sexualized, generally speaking, men are okay with it because that's not the type of attention they typically get. I know the argument. I'm assuming people watch this guy's video here and they've just decided to regurgitate that take, which isn't like necessarily a bad take. But just because men can't necessarily empathize with it doesn't make you correct. And I want to be very clear. It's not like all women agree with you. Like, I'm sure that women do. But, like, I think, I'm just saying, bro. Okay? But I get what you're saying. Maybe a little more receptive to listening.
We may not respond the same way. Simply because
most people not in the online community wouldn't know, then they probably wouldn't see it. Do you, like, okay. Like,
we have not experienced a sexual objectification. So I
try to put every day on my stream
myself in this person's shoes, and I ask myself, hey, if there was a picture of my genitals on the internet, like, how much would it bother me?
Yeah, it wouldn't really bother me. They are on the internet, and it is what it is, brother. You know what I mean? I wish it wasn't, but it is what it is. But that actually is my wee-wee, so it's a little different.
And even amongst men, like, you know, the pictures of genitals are freely advertised, right?
I guess.
Like, sometimes we'll send them to people because pictures of our genitals being out.
Sometimes. Whoa, I didn't do that. Sometimes. All the time. Unsolicited.
I mean, I do think that there are a lot of people who...
Unsolicited.
And
just kidding. I've never done that.
Hey, if there was a picture, we may not respond the same way. Simply because we have not experienced shoes. And I ask myself, hey, if there was a picture of my genitals on... The pictures of genitals are freely advertised, right? Like, sometimes we'll send them to people because pictures of our genitals being out in the public is not something that would bother us.
I feel like that's generally just, like, untrue. To be honest with you, I feel like that's a little unfair to make. Like, I agree with the fundamental aspect that, like, guys are not as used to being sexualized, and so it would be difficult for a guy to empathize. That's a fair point. It's a good point. I get it. But to say that all men want their penis pictures, like, leaked everywhere, I think is... I don't think... Like, there are dudes who send stuff unsolicited, but that's not most men. I think most men would be really upset if somebody leaked their nudes. We don't see that as much, which is something that you could say. You could say, well, men don't see it as much, so we don't see the horror stories. You see, like, almost, it feels like it's constant where you have, like, revenge porn for women. You have whole infrastructures of it that exist too. That's horrible. And, like, there's no infrastructure for men in the same way. Mostly, there's probably for multiple reasons. I mean, men are more visual creatures and men are more disgusting. But then also... pictures that girls send guys are usually like boobies and stuff, and you can usually see the face more. And for guys, they don't really show the right angle. So, like, you know, by the way, get a better angle, guys. Girls like a good angle. It's not necessarily about how big it is. It's just about the display. Make sure you get a little bit of both. You know, the cup and the thing, and then, you know, it's not a bad idea to get some chest hair in there, and even like your chest. You know what I mean? Girls, they like a little spiciness. You know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I mean, I do think that there are a lot of people who probably understand on some level it's harmful and just don't care. But it's kind of like almost leaning into what you said, is that men don't get objectified quite as much, and therefore we may not understand what the harm is if we haven't experienced it ourselves.
If I posted pictures of my genitals on the internet and it spread, people would change their behavior towards me significantly.
Probably, sure. And you know what? They wouldn't do that to a man. That part I can agree with. No, that's fair. That's actually a good point. Okay. I'm on board with that. I watch Pam and Tommy. I know. That thing, I think it's true. If a woman's nudes get leaked on the internet, for actual pictures, like let's just bring to that, people would judge them much more than if it would happen to a guy. I do agree, unless the guy had like a small shriveled peepee. So like, well, okay, this is, I'd say generally speaking, yeah, women would have it worse if they got a leak out there. For men, I think that they could still be open to ridicule, but not necessarily as much. Like watch Pam and Tommy. It happened. Like Pam had some pictures out there, and she like they destroyed her whole career, even though she was a very promising young actress and everything. But then Tommy, everybody was like, "Oh, you're so awesome for having him leaked." But then he also had a huge wiggler. But do people actually look at Jennifer Lawrence differently? Maybe it's just me, because I mean, like I saw the fappening. I looked at it. I'm not gonna lie. It's terrible that it happened. I'm sorry. You know, God forgive me for my sins. You know, I saw the Aubrey Plaza one. Sorry, it's inappropriate. I didn't think of them any differently. I was just, okay, that was it. I was like, okay, there's really nothing else. That wasn't like really for me. I thought it would be better, or I thought I would respond to it more. But I was like, oh, okay, this just exists, you know. But maybe that's just me, because I feel like we're traveling into a time where there seems to be more acceptance for sexualizing yourself, right? But I could just be wrong. Like maybe I just don't have like the broad understanding of that specifically. Okay.
The minute that I seem sexually available in any way, shape, or form, I'm fair game to humiliate, physically assault, rape, and attack.
You're going. It's just this is where it gets too disproportionate.
And this happens to porn stars. There are many porn stars who get murdered on their doorstep.
Are there many?
Assault, rape, and attack. And this happens to porn stars. There are many porn stars who get murdered on their doorstep.
So first of all, I just don't think that there's many porn stars that get murdered on the doorstep. I mean, I don't even know. Do I look that up? So first and foremost, I don't think I've ever heard of a porn star getting murdered on the doorstep. So we have to understand that there's a contrast between a person having their nudes leaked versus a porn star. It's a very different scenario. I'm not seeing anybody get murdered on the doorsteps. I don't think that's ever happening. I looked it up. I don't even see a single instance of it. It's not going to be widespread. However, like that's a different industry. People are going to think less of you if you are an actual porn star. Like they're just going to they're gonna think of you less. Will you get assaulted more? Possibly. I don't know about like you possibly in the actual porn industry is like rife for sexual assault. But that's different than where we're here. Maybe strippers as well. We definitely need to maintain boundaries. But like I think that it's a bit of a disproportionate. It's very disproportionate to go from a leaked image or a deepfake that's not even you to porn stars and strippers who exist in specific atmospheres that are rife with sexual abuse. Right? Like I understand using extremes to communicate some things, but I feel like this one is so disproportionate. It's just too different. A porn star isn't an exaggerated version of having your nudes leak. A porn star is making an industry out of like showing off your body, and they don't deserve disrespect. Same thing with strippers, and they do get it because they exist. The spheres are very regressive, and like there's a lot of shitty men, and I get that, but I think it's two very different things. I think that I think it's just too disanalogous.
Because a fan of their work will think that they're easy and that they will just sleep with anyone. And so there's this idea that the minute you are consensually sexual, everyone can help themselves to you.
Maybe.
And I've experienced this, and I've seen it happen to other people. There was a woman who had, she was camming with someone. So
Okay.
she was doing something sexual on the screen for this person.
Okay.
They recorded it and leaked it, and it ended up on a revenge porn website, and lots of people saw it. And
I'm just confused about the scenario.
She was camming with someone.
Okay.
So she was doing something sexual on the screen for this person.
Okay, so she was creating porn.
They recorded it and leaked it, and it ended up on a revenge porn website, and lots of people saw it. And all her friends were messaging her.
The only
Going, have you seen this? She begged them to take it down. They did not. She had 2 children. It was used against her in court to say that she was not a fit mother.
Wow, that's horrible. That's an issue with the court system. The only thing I'm having a trouble with is that she was in...
She was camming with someone.
So she was doing porn with somebody.
So she was doing something sexual on the screen.
I'm so confused. I wish I knew what she was talking about. I want to look into this. Mom who does porn loses child visitation rights. This morning is an interview about her open opinion of the porn industry. The interviewer is Prince. Okay, that's so much. Inherently unworthy of being a parent. Setting aside morality industry will be okay. Pornographic action is inherently worthy. Okay, if there is no evidence that the mom does porn, I'm just trying to look into this. Like, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, people pay premium for that. Okay, so it's like, okay, sure. So she, okay, so she was a cam girl and her stuff was recorded and put on a different website. For one, people seeing that if she's doing porn, that seems like par for the course. But like to have her kids take it is horrible. I just wish I could see what she's talking about. Because I'm not seeing an article. Can somebody find this for me? Because I just want to read it. Oh, it was a cam girl having a private online call with the dude. Is that what it was?
There was a woman who had, she was camming with someone.
Oh, I interpreted that she was in the room with another guy and they were doing porn.
So she was doing something sexual on the screen for this person.
Okay.
They recorded it and leaked it, and it ended up on a revenge porn website.
Okay. Okay, so they're saying that the guy paid for it. It's like for a one-on-one, but then he recorded it and leaked it. Okay, I get that.
And lots of people saw it, and all her
I'm trying to find what she's talking about. Is her losing custody?
Friends were messaging her, going, "Have you seen this?" She begged them to take it down. They did not. She had 2 children. It was used against her in court to say that she was not a fit mother. And so, because someone leaked that footage without her consent, she lost custody of her children. Against women in rape cases. So, if you get raped, police will spend months doing a background check on you and decide whether or not you could have ever possibly been raped. Because if you've...
I don't know if that's true, but they could definitely, when it comes to like sexual assault, like where the police are not very good with it, it can be very difficult. You have to like instantly go and get like a rape kit, which can be very traumatizing because like it just you already were just violated, and like it's not like then it really comes down to word because it could just be like, well, it was consensual. That could definitely be an issue. I don't know about the specific background check part, but
had too much sex. You're obviously consented. There's no way you couldn't have consented. So people will decide whether they believe you when you report a rape or a sexual assault based on your sexual history. And if you have any sexual content out there of any kind, you'll be considered a whore. So when you create a...
That might be true. I just, listen, not for nothing. I don't mean to be rude. I couldn't find a single article that said that a mother lost custody of their kid because they did pornography. Who is she referring to? Because I feel like this story is either made up or disproportionate. Like I'm looking up mom loses custody for making, whatever, making the P word. I just want to see what you were referring to specifically, because maybe it did happen, and that's terrible. That's not really related to deepfakes, but in their case, if their argument is like just fundamentally speaking, deepfakes can be a problem if you're not like a celebrity famous, because then people could create porn of you and they put it on the internet, and then people might believe it's you, and since you don't have a large platform, you can't really speak out against it, and it could hurt your job opportunities. That's a really fair argument to make. If they remove themselves from it. But since they're famous, it's not going to really hurt them because they have the platform to speak out against it. So I can see where that becomes a problem. That's fair. I guess my problem is how much they're... Not to be rude, but how much like they're hijacking the movement. Like if they were saying like, hey guys, this happened to us. We're fortunate because we're large content creators that people know that's not us. But like honestly, here are some of the really negative things that can happen. And we should be careful of it because like not everybody has a platform to say it's not them and they could have like their lives ruined. That's a great argument. That's fair. I could see that. It might have just been small enough news where it never got traction here, but she's saying it. So I feel like it can't be that small. Is there anything in the here? Getting nothing in here.
pornographic video of me and it's indistinguishable, you'll be considered a whore. So when you create a pornographic video of me and it's indistinguishable from reality, how is a future employer, if I change jobs or move on with my life, ever going to know it's not real? And when stigma against sex workers is very fucking real, this could impact me long into the future. If someone I try to date finds this video, they may not give me a chance to explain myself before they decide that I'm not worthy of dating anymore. Like, these sorts of things, well, I think the stigma is unjust, will still apply. I don't think it's fair that we treat
the whole more
sex workers this way, and I certainly don't think it's fair that we could potentially treat people who haven't even done sex work this way, because at least like in the case of sex workers, they usually choose to go into this knowing the stigma they take on. But now I have to take on that stigma long into the future without ever having even consented to enter this industry, and that's kind of fucked. I don't know about you, but that seems troubling to me.
Sure, I just don't like that I don't think that you would ever have to worry about this problem, and I think we all know that.
I mean, deepfakes can be used with children's faces.
Sure.
Like, I'm not the only person who's going to face this. Anyone can. And it needs to be dealt with now. Yes, we know that there's a huge mass appetite for non-consensual sexual images.
Okay, because this is what I talk about. This video has pushed me more towards understanding why we should probably ban deepfakes. But this is the shit that gets me.
Huge mass appetite for non-consensual sexual images.
No, there's not a huge appetite for non-consensual images. This is where you like lose me. Okay, listen, I'm a man. All right. There's no huge appetite. Men aren't walking around just like, I really hope I can fucking rape a girl. There are men like that, but most of them are not. Most men are like, oh, I wish I could see her tits. It's not that they don't want to see their tits non-consensually. That's not like a part of it. It's just like, I wish I could see their tits. That's all it comes down to. Like, this is like a fucking, like, that's too much. No, this is just like fucking unhinged. Like, it's so disproportionate. It has a little bit of the Tobs on it. It's a little turbulent online behavior here. It's a little too fucking disproportionate. Guys just want to see boobs. Does that make the deepfakes okay? You know, I'm leaning more towards no now. But fucking Jesus, we're going crazy. Like, you're going so disproportionate. Like, to be like, I know that a lot of people want to rape women. It's like, holy fuck, man, chill out. Oh my God.
That this is a massive problem, and I think that we can.
At 2018, I was inebriated at a party. I'm just gonna read this. I don't know who this is. A party, and I was used for man sexual gratification without my consent. Today, I've been used by hundreds of men for sexual gratification without my consent. Oh, okay. So, the world calls my 2018 experience rape. The world is debating over the validity of my experience today. The debate over my experience as women is that, not shockingly, amongst men, none of you should care. Listen to what a male streamer is taking as how you feel. Like, you're kind of losing me on that. I founded a nonprofit organization, Animal Sanctuary, at 22. I raised $1 million for the conservation work at 24 years old. I have created 0 sexual content in my 3 years on Twitch. Despite this, my face is stolen so men can make me into sexual objects to use for themselves. If anyone does this, doesn't think this is a big deal. That's my name. And the headlines where thousands of people are commenting on and sexualizing of my body against my will. You aren't the problem. The situation makes me feel disgusted, vulnerable, nauseous, and violated. Okay, listen, I can understand you being upset, but first of all, there's a profound difference between being physically having your autonomy removed in person, and I think that this person knows that, versus somebody taking a face and putting it on another person's body. Again, I get it. This conversation, I'm leaning more towards to get rid of the deepfake stuff now. Like, I get it, but nobody, like, deepfakes aren't using your body against your will. You could say your face against your will, but this is where these things get so disproportionate. You go like so crazy.
Hippie Ranger super chatted $5. At Papa Gut, the other person in the video was Dr. K, who someone recommended to check out during fan Q&A BTW.
Oh, that's that person. Okay.
We can all be doing our part to not only not consume.
Deepfakes show how many men actually have no idea how consent works. No, it doesn't. It's not all men, but it's definitely too many. Bro, it's not like... We use the word consent too much in such a loaded way. Like, if you think about me while you masturbate, like, I'm not consenting to that. But, like, that doesn't mean that I was violated. Like, the deepfake thing, the conversation around consent, it's like we're so lazily using the word consent to always mean, like, rape. But, like, sometimes it doesn't, you don't need to have consent. Like, you don't need consent to think about me while you masturbate. You don't need consent to draw me in a sexualized way fucking a guy. You know what I mean? Like, I might feel uncomfortable, but, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it's not me. you do need to consent to distribute this kind of stuff. I think that it makes perfect sense to ban the deepfakes because they're going to get more and more convincing. But everybody knows that it's not you guys, and so like the conversation becomes disproportionate. And I feel disproportionality is lazy. That's the problem. It's just like like I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like I'm really uncomfortable with this, so that means that you're wrong, kind of a take. And it's like fuck. Like when you stop, like we do need better conversations about consent. But like, there's no nuance in the way that you're talking about this. Like, these are deep fakes. It's not actually you. And again, I get the worry that people might think it is, especially if you're not a large online platform or content creator who can say it's not you. But you're going like 10. You guys are being so disproportionate. You're being very disproportionate. That's my problem. It's super duper disproportionate.
That sort of thing, but also to make it known that it's not acceptable to consume it. It's not.
I want to scream, stop! Everybody, fucking stop! Stop spreading it! Stop advertising! Stop being seen naked against your will should not be part of the job. But you're not. It's not you. It's not your body. You know that. We have to be real. Thank you for all the male internet journalists reporting on this issue. Fucking losers. Okay, whatever.
Acceptable to share it. It does make you a piece of shit to want to see this stuff when there's so.
No, it doesn't. Sorry.
That it's not acceptable to consume it. It's not acceptable to share it. It does make you a piece of shit to want to see this stuff.
It doesn't make you a piece of shit to want to see this stuff. It kind of makes you a piece of shit if you do look at it, but if you want to, it's not that big of a deal.
When there's so many people willingly sexually engaging with you, and there are so many ways to see naked bodies for free, there isn't actually any excuse to do this, and you can't be a good person and deliberately consume non-consensual images. There is no way that you can clamor to look for leaked nudes and be a decent fucking human being.
Well, this is different. This is different from leaked nudes. I'm going to be absolutely real with you. Listen, let me just end this off. I know that this is a hot topic. Okay, after watching that video, I'm a little more on the side of understanding why we should probably ban deepfakes. Right? We're at a point now where it's potential people without large platforms could be deepfaked in a way that's very convincing to an employer or something in that capacity, and it could cause that person to like miss out on job opportunities. She used the instance of somebody losing custody. I couldn't find anything. Kind of feeling like that's not necessarily real. But maybe it actually has happened. I wouldn't doubt it's happened. When we saw that happen with Pamela Anderson, I just can't find something her source for saying that, which I wish I could. That being said, the conversation gets too disproportionate. It relies like it's not your actual body, and that doesn't mean that it's not inappropriate. But when you're so disproportionate, and you're saying that basically the energy you're using here is that basically if somebody defakes you that you were raped, like it's hard to be like right on board because it's disproportionate. It's like we have to talk about it in the right way. And I feel like it's crazy when you make a video called deepfakes are ruining my life. They're not. I know it's like a little clickbait, but it's not. Nothing negative is really happening to you because of the deepfakes. You're a popular streamer that has the ability to be like, I've never done that before, and everybody will believe you, which is how it's already happening. I get like somebody who doesn't have that capacity. I get that. That's who we need to protect. The not platform, the not big content creators who don't have the ability to speak out against this technology because it's becoming easier and easier to do. Deepfakes aren't that hard to make anymore. They're becoming easier and easier. I understand that. You know, especially the distribution of your likeness without your consent. I get that. But it's still not you. It's not as violating as your actual nudes being leaked. You know, and I hope we can have the correct conversation, because as much as you might say, well, you're a man, you don't get this, you're losing people in this way when you compare it to rape. People are just going, no. People are just tuning out. It's hard to care too much. I know this is like a socially volatile topic, and that most of the videos and the energy when it comes to deepfakes are actually in favor of the women that are speaking out, which makes sense. But that's not because the guys disagree, that everybody agrees with you. It's because people know that this is a topic that they probably shouldn't talk about, even if they disagree with you, because it's not worth it. It's not worth engaging with it and asking reasonable questions, because the social shame is going to hit. You know, I'm down for banning deepfakes. I'm still not super, I'm still not super duper opinionated on it, but like, okay. I mean, I never would have been against it, but if they ban it, that's fine. I'm just saying, though. That's all I'm saying. So, Not too bad. I did a good thing though. I didn't play the Chestnuts Roasting song during that.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.